Well, so we're ready to look at what the stories are on the front and back pages of the newspapers. And just saying, okay, I wanted to tell you something, but I'll do that later. Go up, Fred, go up, Fred, go up, Fred, go up. Okay, we go up, we go up. Daily Graphic front page, announced petitions, IGP and Attorney General. And also, we have MPP present fresh evidence for placement of voters register. But this is what Anas is doing. He's forwarded the 12 names of the state attorneys and policemen who took bribe to serve justice in his investigative report. And we know that, well, those videos have now been shown, or those announcements for the premiering have been fulfilled. And so we've had premiers at Accra International Conference Center on 4 dates, so to speak, or 4 times, so to speak, within 2 days.
And the global cinemas.
Yes, I wanted to talk to you about that's what I wanted to talk to you about, because you interviewed on Rhythm A to Z on Saturday. I was listening to you throughout the program, and I love the man, Ernest Boateng, right? He was. But
the person we spoke to was Eric Hadai.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was ambushing. They call it ambush marketing. I love that man. I want to speak to him. MPP presents fresh evidence for placement of voters register. And for many of you who tend to monitor social media, you get to see that the cover letter for whatever the proposal is, really is on social media. And the MPP said they have additional evidence, and they've included that to the Electoral Commission for its own consideration. So we'll see how that goes, as far as the Electoral Commission is trying to consider the proposal in itself, not only from the MPP, but also the other political parties. So we'll see how it goes for the EC on one side and the petitioners, or those who have presented their proposal, so to speak, on the other side as well. We also have give fair coverage to all political parties. NMC directs state-owned media. The National Media Commission has again reminded state-owned media to give fair and balanced coverage to all political parties during the 2016 electioneering. We know that the time is near, and the near period we're almost entering into, because after this month we're entering into the last quarter of the year. Then 2016 beckons. What do we have to do? A lot more reporting by the media, especially giving the latest update as far as we're concerned on really what the issues are during the electioneering, and what the various political actors will be saying during their campaigns. NDC MPP exposes more skeleton. EC skeleton has officially submitted this case. We've read that already. NDC also takes over Dansoman Police. The Dansoman Divisional Police Command is in a fix as to whether or not to remove posters displayed on its walls by an aspiring parliamentary candidate. I'm surprised this is news. Take it off. This is no news. The Graphic shouldn't have reported this. The police should just take it off. Finder. Arrest judges, others. US-based law professor tells police. US-based Ghanaian professor Stephen Kwekuasari has called on the police to immediately arrest all persons, including judges, captured on the video by his investigative journalist Anas Aremeyaw Anas, for allegedly taking bribes and extorting monies. US-based Ghanaian professor. Okay, we do understand, but we have rudiments stated within our constitution as to how to deal with some of these matters. You just don't go around rounding up judges in the country. If you're based in the US, sometimes you tend to forget what the constitution really stipulates. Please don't forget. I know, Professor. Narcotic drugs intercepted by NACOP, that's the Narcotics Control Board at the Kotoka International Airport, cannot be traced. If you didn't arrest them, how do you expect to be seeing them currently? They have to abscond, hide for some time. President Mahama holds health crisis even in New York. Okay, President John Dramani Mahama, German Chancellor Angela Merkel, and Norwegian Prime Minister Erna Solberg are the weekend hosted in New York, a major event aimed at preparing the world to better manage any health crisis that arises. And we know that last year the President addressed the General Assembly, spoke extensively on the Ebola crisis at the time, which was afflicting the West African sub-region. And because he was head of ECOWAS, Ghana was also chosen to be the hub for the deployment for medicines and other health professionals across the afflicted countries in the sub-region. And following that, I guess he has tried to consolidate, with trying to preempt whatever event that may come up later in the future, so to speak. Business Day, Ghana has on the front page, government to miss growth targets. Global Economic Research Team, Focus Economics, is predicting that Ghana's economy to grow at 3.4% by close of the year 2015. And every Ghanaian owes over 3,387 by current debt to GDP ratio, as we have it. Now back to your interview. Why did you do that?
Why did I do
Giving
it?
leverage to the man he was advertising.
Leverage. Hello.
But it was an interesting interview, and the whole discussion really, especially premised on the fact that they took advantage of it, and whether they were not afraid, whether the law could catch up with them, etc. I believe they, as a marketing communication, I believe they really explain themselves well.
Yeah.
Whether the law will catch up with them, that's another matter.
Okay, so we're talking about Global Cinemas because they have apparently also been sued for screening Anas's video, actually showing it in their cinemas, and they have not received their suits. So we had the conversation on radio last Saturday, and that's what Roland is talking about. But if you are the communications person of the place, how would you express yourself? You know,
and I think taking advantage of situations like this, like a lot more companies tend to do during major events like the World Cup and things.
Yeah,
that's great, because then you also tend to leverage on the vacuum that has been created to also promote your product or service.
Well, but this could also land you in prison.
Well, sure, it's a risk that is worth taking. This is a national issue, and at the end of the day, you never know. Nothing may come up. All at the discretion of the judges who have the cases or the petitions before them. Yes.
These are all fallouts of Anas's video on the judges. There's more at myjoyonline.com, and that's exactly where I'm going right now. Some indicted judges may become prison mates. That's what Kweku Bako said on Newsfile, but details of it, senior journalist Abdul Malik Kweku Bako says, if the High Court convicts any person or persons of contempt for airing Anas's video, the contemners may share prison with some of the judges implicated in the judiciary bribery scandal. He's not worried at all about the airing of that video and details of it, because he says something which is really, really important here. He said, when the noises died down, Ghana would be driven by the content of the video to take steps that will make the state better.
I think that was on point.
That's very deep. It's true.
He says that after all the hula baloo and the noise we're making, when everything dies down, we're going to have a lot more pressure, not only internally, but even externally. Yeah. External pressure for us to make sure we clean our judicial system.
I think the reason why the video is important is because we want those images on our minds. You know how we tend to forget about things so quickly and easily? So we want to be reminded by those images. And that's really important, yeah. I just made that up right now, though. Let's go to cityfmonline.com. Flashy shopping malls are not real signs of development. That's from President Mahama to other African leaders. Story says that President John Mahama has challenged his fellow African leaders not to use the emergence of flashy shopping malls as a measure of development. Rather, he's calling on his fellow heads of state to invest in agriculture and energy as a sure way of ensuring sustained development and improvement in standards of living across Africa.
Okay, so
he was speaking.
So that's when he talked about the doomsday-related crisis in Ghana.
Well, I haven't. I didn't listen to him in details, but he was speaking at a dialogue session of the UN Sustainable Development Summit in New York. That we talked about on Friday. Okay. All right. Let me take you to the BBC website now. Some African stories, and it's sad that anytime you click on that button, you go to Africa, the stories are not positive. But we give them what they report, don't we? Because this is happening. Deadly clashes broke out in Bangui, is the capital of the Central African Republic, after a Muslim motorbike taxi driver was killed. About 20 people have been killed, with at least 100 others wounded in the violence. No comment. Let's get an update on Burkina Faso. So Burkina Faso has frozen the assets of the leader of last week's failed coup. Another 13 people suspected of involvement have also had their assets frozen, the state prosecutor says. Interim President Michael Kafando was reinstated on Wednesday after an intervention from the army and West African leaders. But I thought they were not going to touch them. Wasn't that the agreement?
Yes. That's the agreement, but...
So that's the coup leader, if you can see him, who has admitted that the takeover...
He looks like a handsome gentleman. General Gilbert Dendier.
Yeah. He says that the takeover was a mistake.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, he's admitted, yes. Now his assets have been frozen.
The devil tempted him. What came into his mind?
Well, not sure. I don't know. Yeah. But this is what will stay, forever and ever. At least 10 people were killed and more than 100 injured in those clashes during the takeover, which General Diendere described as the biggest mistake. Okay. All right, so on that note, we say it's a wrap. If you had anything that you want details of, you can simply just log on and then get the details. But there's more news at myjoyonline.com.
We also have a Facebook page, Joy News on TV, and please make sure you contribute to the discussions based on questions and the comments that we tend to also put there. And when you generate those comments, we tend to relay them in the course of the whole program for you.
So still ahead, we'll talk sports, we have entertainment, lots of things happening over the weekend. I am talking rabies later on my band. I'm very passionate about dogs now, and we'll get details of it.
Yeah, when you get affected by incursions by thieves, what else do you expect? We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll have a lot more for you.